Well, hello and welcome to Understand Men Now. I'm Jonathan Aslay of jonathanAslay.com, and I'm so excited to be shooting this short video for you today. Our topic, how to get a guy to think about you nonstop. Okay, real quick before I get started, if you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, wherever, maybe it's that way or this way, and ring the bell so you can get new content. All right, let's just jump right into it. How to get a guy to think about you nonstop. Now, it's going to take me a few minutes to explain this, but for those of you that are familiar with the movie When Harry Met Sally, and if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you see it. Or if you want, go to YouTube and Google this scene that I'm about to share with you. But at the end of the movie, Harry says to Sally, I love it that it takes you an hour and a half to order a ham sandwich. I love it that you think 70 degrees is cold. I love it that you're the first person I think of when I go to bed at night, and you're the first person I think of when I wake up. And when I realized that, I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. That's a guy that's thinking about his partner nonstop. He's thinking about being with someone nonstop. When you can reach a point in saying, you're the first person I think of when I go to bed at night, and you're the first person I think of when I wake up in the morning. So sadly, most dating advice panders to the unhealthy ego. Wow, that was a quick abrupt that I just did. Went from Harry Met Sally to sadly, most dating advice panders to the unhealthy ego. Books like The Rules are totally designed to pander, to create unhealthy divide between men and women. It's manipulative and game playing. And because of that, most relationships struggle because it's based on, like I said, pandering to the ego, and it's pandering to people's insecurities. Now, one of the reasons why most relationships are frustrating, why people choose the wrong partners, they often choose people similar to like one of their parents, whether it's their mother and father. Oftentimes, most people have had some sort of emotional childhood traumas that cause them to choose partners that are really familiar in the sense that they represented one of their parents. I want you to check out the book, Getting the Love You Want by Harvell Hendrix. This goes into a deep dive. So why I'm sharing all this with you is when you understand why some people choose partners, you can actually begin to approach a partnership from a different perspective. And that's what I'm leaning into. I'm leaning into focusing on a different perspective, because what made Harry and Sally unique is that they strongly developed the friendship. Actually, in this particular case, this was purely the two people that were in the friend zone that eventually became a relationship. But I want to talk about how to build the friendship while you're in the romance zone. Because ultimately, when you're with your best friend and you're romantic with them, you can't stop thinking about them all day long. Now, what makes a best friend unique? What makes a best friend unique, or let's just say a really good friend unique, is that you trust them, you feel safe, you can be vulnerable with them. You trust them, you feel safe, you can be vulnerable with them. And when you can be vulnerable with a partner, when you feel that safe, whether it's a man or a woman, you feel that safe that you can be vulnerable with them, you're going to be thinking of that person all the time, because that's the person you want to, share the good times with. You want to be able to commiserate the bad times with. You want to be able to ask advice from your partner, and you want your partner to be able to ask advice from you. And that's what friendship affords us. It affords us to go deeper into intimacy. So ladies, I want to share with you how to help you make this happen. And understanding that deep friendship usually is a result of these three things. Actually more than three things, but I'm going to get into this. It's doing social activities together, hobbies, mutual interests, spending time with family and friends, and then ultimately sexual intimacy. Well, both intimacy and sexual intimacy. That's how we develop both the romantic and the friendship aspect of the relationship. Doing social activities together, doing hobbies together, having mutual interest together. When you actually have these shared passions and you're doing things together, you build a deeper friendship, and then you're thinking about your partner all the time because you want to do those things with your partner. Let me give you an example. I once dated a woman who loved to play gin rummy. And I think it was on our second date, she pulled out a deck of cards at the bar we were sitting at and says, "Would you like to play a game of gin rummy?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then every time we went out, we always brought a deck of cards because we played gin rummy. And I began to love it, and she loved it, and it was very competitive for us. It was a lot of fun. And what was interesting is when we ended the relationship, I found myself, whoever I wanted to date, is to do gin rummy with them. This mutual hobby was very addictive to me. So when we have these hobbies, interests, shared activities together, we actually want to do it with the person we're romantic with. So how can you get a guy thinking about you nonstop? Build the friendship as you're building the romantic part of the relationship. And ladies, I know you might be thinking, well, it's the man's job to lead the relationship, but I'm here to say is you are in charge of the emotional aspect of the relationship, so you can guide it by suggesting these activities to do as you're doing the dating process. Be an active participant in the dating process by suggesting social activities, hobbies, and maybe developing some mutual interest together. How to get a guy thinking about you nonstop? This one suggestion you may want to try. Okay, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Please post a comment below if this resonates with you, if you think it's rubbish, if you think I'm full of shit, I want to hear about it. Again, if you want to speak to me directly, click that link below to schedule a one-on-one call, or check out my Midlife Love Master, or grab my free gift, 5 Qualities Men Seek in a Soulmate. All right, I'm going to sign off this video as I always do, giving you a big, gigantic Jonathan Bear hug if I have your consent. Thank you. Wishing you a wonderful day. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now.